And
we'll see if it pays off for them. And yeah, again, Cougar was highlighting it as well. Mixwell did not have a good time in that head-to-head against aspas this time. With nukkye tagging in on a Jett, we'll see if he can do some damage on this pistol round. And Loud on the attack side. It's a deep push into mid. All the space is being taken by aspas and saadhak. Coverage in play. Hoody goes down immediately. Mixwell, it's up to him. Does find the one. aspas also taking boatload of damage in the process. Now a split attempt for the Meddo. What are those shots?
My classic doesn't work like that. And pancada, he's made his way up, wins the 1v1 against Mixwell.
Hunter tries to find the shots. G2, wonderful start for them on Breeze, their map pick.
What a play from Meddo, though. He was stuck, really, underneath the drone that was coming in from Sacy at B main and had to do a bit of damage, hide underneath it, just about dodge getting tagged. Was able to finish off aspas, who was weak early. As you saw here, he takes a headshot from Hoody, gets knocked down low. And Meddo's in such an uncomfortable position, but still able to take 2 away. I do want to talk, though, a bit about this difference in terms of the Jett players. In map 1, we saw Mixwell on the Jett, and I spoke about how I think he's a little bit of a more passive player, going to let aspas set the tempo. Nukkye is going to hunt around the map on defense, floating, pushing cave, pushing mid, rotating from site to site. He is not afraid to duel. So this is going to have a very different feeling to the Jett head-to-head, just simply because of how G2 rotate this pick around. And aspas, he owns it early.
Okay. Nade ends up shutting it down with the spam coming through. That's just a bit of, again, seeing the martial shots being sent out. Over only the Spectre in hand still. Now the 2v4.
Last player standing. Spike down.
Loud looking to take a couple of guns away if they can, but just less alive. A clean round win for them, Josh. And yeah, setting up this Jett head-to-head with nukkye in play. It's going to be a difficult task for nukkye. I mean, the guy is talented, doing it from the IGL role on top of it. He's one of the star players, if not the star player for G2.
I would absolutely agree with that. I think, you know, this year he's looked like the best player in EMEA, for my money too, given that he's been IGLing for G2 and putting up these fabulous performances on Duelist. But aspas is a bit of a different beast, isn't he? G2 have somewhat of a wonky buy, but nukkye's gone for a full Vandal here. Challenging early, dodges the 0 point. And both of the Jetts staring at each other through a wall right now, over a day.
And Louder leaning the spike over towards A on their buy.
But this is a deep push from Hoody into mid, actually.
Yeah, middle control.
Really unusual to have your Sova push this far up.
Normally you want them part of the hits, you know, or at least, you know, having that utility, the dart to push away from any sort of executes. But he is just holding it down. A very patient and slow round for Loud. Just waiting it. And now with the drone in play, that is going to be their cue. Knife straight down the middle of the pyramids, and they've cleared nukkye out of position. Sent packing. See you later. You're going to have to do some calling from the sidelines for this one, with Hoody falling on top of it. The better rifles, the better weaponry is carrying Loud forwards here.
Unless it's managed to work his way all the way down holes. Oh, that snakebite didn't exactly go where he was intended, but pancada is fine there. It is, of course, intriguing how Les and pancada have swapped their roles. But Loud dismantled that one. Prime Gaming flawless. No real problem. And nukkye's certainly been looking for those early engagements, getting himself in aggressive positions, but he's fallen twice at the beginning of the rounds. This time scouted by the drone.
Yeah. And Hoody, I mean, he sent that dart from mid. Gave the perfect angle and timing for pancada to find him. Watching that one for the Prime Gaming flawless. But that was the bonus for G2.
Yeah, it was the bonus, but nukkye actually had a Vandal in it, so now he's just staying with a Marshal. They have their star player, their Jett, the person that's hunting for these early duels with the worst weapon. Not a fan of this, usually. He is playing a sightline, though, that is pretty decent. Pretty decent for it. And Louder put in a fairly heavy emphasis on mid-control here. Pushing their way up, slowly, clearing these areas. And nukkye has a little flash peek in. Gets rid of the trademark.
Yeah, AvovA doing some work there. Saadhak pulling out of utility at the wrong time, but just a bit of exchange of fire. Really going down. Does pull that drone to be used. Hoodie wants to see if he can get any information of any players.
And not just the drone, he's pulled the Chamber, he's pulled the Jett. He's actually pulled AvovA really far back onto the A site too. And pancada, whether or not he knew it, had an opening there to try and get a bit of a contact timing in A. This is going to end up being an A split. And I'm not confident that G2 have the read.
Wow. They do have the potential for a crossfire here being set up, but AvovA is so close to the wall with the drone there. Has to use that nade to try and clear it and disrupt it, and now you're going to see that combined aggression. Mixwell has to get value, does find the one, but eventually traded. AvovA still off to the side, 2 kills for him, make it 3. That is absurd, and that's exactly what G2 need.
Just no ability to clear that corner. For whatever reason, they were confident that AvovA was holding back sight.
He naded from there.
Yeah. I mean, he's 7-1 right now, just farming up those players that came in through A main. I'm surprised that worked for him. Mixwell getting 1 in this position as Aspas is diligently clearing the corner. But pancada, Sacy, less. Just couldn't clear him out here.
Double doors.
Mixwell going to pop the tour de force in this round as he moves over to B, anchoring that kind of area down. But it looks like a fairly fast hit from Loud.
Yeah.
At least using the drone wall early.
Injection of pace.
AvovA, though, cancels it all. Uses the null command. Good luck getting through here.
The hit isn't quite being committed, but still, saadhak has the spike, and he is just contacting, walking up behind this. Is he going to try and go for any sort of pop flash play? He's just waiting for it to go down, swing around the back. 2 kills for him.
And AvovA must have been befuddled in that situation. He's like, why isn't the Viper wall going down? But Les was in mid and could still provide that safe passage for Loud into the site.
saadhak is so brave as well to just keep swinging into this one. Mixwell has the tour de force.
Do they
much
have
longer?
Yeah.
Taken out of his hands there with the knife coming through.
Do they have the awareness to know that Les must have been flanking because he wasn't caught by the null command early?
Pop flash, straight through the wall, just dodges around the side, and that is magnificent.
Great kills on the board for saadhak there. Around the look dangerous, but Loud, again, changing up the tempo. They throw a couple of slow rounds at you where they explore mid, where they go here and there, and suddenly they're popping into sight instantly. There certainly could have been a tour de force waiting for them.
Ai, meu Deus. Boa.
And nukkye now picks up the operator, looking to try and take things into his own hands. Both players from G2 that have been playing Jett, thus far not really having impact, not able to stop, not able to find the first kills. And nukkye's gone seriously exploring through mid.
AvovA's going for the reposition here close. They use their own knife, Loud. On the attack side, of course, they're trying to play it close. nukkye swings out, just thinking he was given all the space in the world. pancada's been holding that angle pretty much almost every single round where they've been playing slow, but now you see the tempo. It's increased. Drone off to the side. AvovA doesn't actually get tagged up, but he's low enough that not much is required to bring him down. Aspas, a single knife, picks up the rifle as well. Rewarded.
Spike planted.
And what do you do here if you're G2? You're just losing all the time in these early engagements. They can never find advantages. I know they're up, technically. It's 3-2 for the moment. Soon to be equalized.
Yeah, just a save for them.
Yeah,
it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just questioning, what do they do even moving forward?
Past this, yeah.
They're finding it really difficult to get opening fights. Loud are either all together and going to trade you out if you try and take a fight against them, or they're holding such, kind of safe positions like pancada there, and the players are incredibly skilled.
Yeah.
Loud came into this tournament, Bren, with the highest first kill rate out of any of the teams here.
And they really were just dominating their region. That's why their stats are so good. And it was a big question mark for us, honestly, of how they would be performing on the global stage.
Of course.
Against all of the top tier competition across the world, who, all meeting here at Masters Reykjavik.
Yeah, it's always a question. You can do really well domestically and then flop on the global stage. We've seen that before. But Loud, they are rewriting the script for Brazil. G2 saved a couple of rifles, but they're just going to have to go for a half-buy again, an eco round of Thrifty, essentially. Though they have a couple of players that could work some magic.
Well, the 2 players of rifles are just holding down over towards the B side.
Yeah, it does seem like weird allocation. A bit of a gamble, perhaps, just in case they do go B, but Loud have been trending A. They put the Viper wall down on A.
And a fast play straight up through it. Lovely play inside of the smoke, but aspas immediately recovers it. And he knows the player's there, the spray control. Got a deal though now with the G2 players. Hoody and Meddo do have the rifles.
That's another headshot. I mean, Hoody has just dropped so weak. And Sacy's going to find the information that nobody's really pushing off that drone.
Still winnable for G2. If they can just find an advantage in this one, but the positioning is known for Loud, and they have got such this tight hold here, right in the back here, just swinging through. The player close to yellow as well. Sacy was so ready for that.
Yeah, that defensive setup was uncrackable. I mean, I guess technically it was winnable for them. But they've got great coordination and explosive play. That even once it gets into that 2v3 scenario, just the setup of one player, pancada, holding up top towards switch, and then another player ready to swing at yellow. They're very fast to reposition into different setups. And Loud are clawing their way into the lead here. Clawing? I mean, stomping their way into the lead, actually.
Yeah. Rounds close in terms of the score that you see at the top of your screens, but Mixwell now opting into the operator buy, and he just wants to hold down that B-long angle.
And once more, nukkye goes exploring, clears out elbow a little bit, but there's nobody there at all. And so the responsibility, at least for the moment, seems to rest on Meddo and AvovA.
Nukkye's pushing alone, but I mean, pancada's made an adjustment as well, as he's just holding really far back, but it looks like Loud might be gearing up for an explosive play. Nade just to see if there was a player holding in that corner, if they could push them out of it. And now the Viper wall goes up. Counterplay coming through from G2, they have to come up with something huge. The dart at the back, that doesn't actually connect onto Meddo, still being blocked enough. Okay, pop flash straight through the wall. Sacy has the Hunter's Fury, the players dropping like flies for G2. Nukkye though on this flank.
Spike planted.
He used his Cloudburst to be able to get past the trademark. They don't know he's here, they do now.
Now they know, but all the knives expended. Sacy holds it. Through the chop shop, and Mixwell, he realizes, I gotta get out of here, man. Only an operator. No money to buy the next rounds. You can see him. His hands at the back of his head. I mean, G2 got to be feeling exasperated here, even, despite the fact that, you know, they're not even that far down in terms of the rounds, but it just feels like Loud are in control of a lot of these hits.
Yeah, and that's the case, right? I mean, G2 win pistol, follow up, and then the next 5 rounds have gone 4 in the favor of Loud.
It's not bad.
But also, you've got that mental burden of knowing how MAP2 went.
There they are.
And how difficult it was for you to establish any sort of control.
Yeah.
To stop any hit coming through. And if we want to talk about what happened in this round in particular, Flash comes through, catching AvovA on this close angle where AvovA was probably looking to make the same play.
Make his own play, yeah. With the flash.
And aspas just dashes into Meddo's face and swings around in front of him. G2 have been able to get a first pick cleanly and reset the round. If they find a first pick, it just seems to hit the go button for Loud, and they swarm in trying to trade out, or at least, you know, capitalize on the situation. And this one looks quick. They're going for an A-split again.
Just a fast play here for Loud up against half buy. AvovA's not bad with that one.
But these are the kind of situations I'm talking about, Brent. Even though they technically get the first kill, it's traded out instantly and more. Loud take map control, they take space, they push players back. And it's all down to Mixwell and Meddo.
Now, Mixwell off to the side, now it's a 2v2.
It's a good play.
Strenuous in this round for Loud. They actually end up committing this Viper's Pit just so that they can now have a bit of an edge. Respect being shown. G2 know that they can win this one. Still, Meddo is lurking in alone. Mixwell forced to just, I mean, hold the back side of the Viper's Pit with his own operator, but just dodging, weaving in and out of it. Less just touching the sides of it, but the gun pokes through. He finds the pick off, and now it's up to Mixwell. The operator, not the ideal weapon to try and clear through the Viper's Pit, and with time running this low, Les has played this perfectly.
Yeah, there was no chance there. Les, a masterclass in terms of how he was playing around the Viper. Reminder, this was not his normal role when they were playing Breeze in the past. Not that Loud have played a ton of it. And listen, it didn't even matter in that round at the end there, Bren, but Sacy just left him alone and went for a flank through halls.
Yeah.
That's confidence. Just leaving your Viper with the Viper's Pit on site and going for a large wraparound flank so that you reposition and throw another weird element for G2 to deal with. Loud have constantly got the adaptations. They are 5 steps ahead of G2 right now.
That's how
You
it's
want to
feeling. I mean,
play?
it
Let's
is
play.
what we've been witnessing. Viper's bit deep. Have a fast play here. Looking to go for this A split, but they are being stumped at the choke point still. Trying to make their way through the double doors. They actually clean up those players nicely. G2 put an end to that.
nukkye was super fast down mid this time. But saadhak's giving them all of the information. nukkye decides he wants to try and finish him off.
Enemy kill.
Finally does enough damage.
Yeah, it was just giving constant information down mid. He was facing that way, I believe.
Yeah. So this is the first time, actually, where G2 have got an advantage in these rounds and are able to slow things down a little bit. The Viper's bit halting anything. nukkye peeks, gets information.
Mixwell's there, tour de force, but he whips! Off to the side, a little bit too much. Cloud burst down. nukkye, oh, pre-aiming the wrong angle, and that advantage, it just fades away.
Evaporates. Slip through their fingers like so many grains of sand. Having said that, hoodie's got the read on where this repositioning
He
is
could
going.
shut all of this down right now on top.
Oh.
It's a fantastic off angle, but he just isn't willing to hold his ground, moving a little bit, and the loud players are so tightly spaced, grouped together.
Pancada's watching mid, tour de force, Meddo.
Work out our difference.
And even when you get that advantage, even when you put the pressure on Loud, they're ready to bounce back.
Yeah.
And they feel carefree right now.
They gotta be.
This play, though, Mixwell, I think that's a bit of a... I think that's a bit too bold to go for the peek. After nukkye's already peeked the same angle, gathered the information, it doesn't seem reasonable to go for a swing with the tour de force without Mixwell actually having a player like nukkye to re-peek afterwards. There was no setup to that. It feels desperate.
The G2
Standing ahead.
might opt now to put this extra pressure into mid. nukkye, oh, tagged up. Dart's going to be spotting his positioning.
Another slow beginning to the round by Loud, but making sure that they control the areas that G2 would be pushing from.
It's a good knife. I mean, it's going to give them the mid-round information that two of the players are leaning that way.
But what can you do with it? It pulls hoody over towards B. You're going to want to gamble stack a bit more on rounds like this. But when I was watching G2 and they were playing this map in EMEA, I mean, with this composition, they went 2-0. They had the rotates, the reads, and nukkye was a big center point, IGLing on Jett.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to really get started, but he has a Vandal right now.
Has to find value, just anchoring this one for them, and they have comboed it. G2 finally using what's at their disposal, but Sacy, he swings all the way around. All the kills are going Loud's way, despite the fact that G2 had an immensely important setup for it.
Spike planted.
They just shrug it off.
What?
Every time G2 have a stack, a pick, an opening, Loud's team play and their individual skill shines through.
Just
They
triple
put
facing.
an 8th on the board in their attack half on
Last
Breeze.
round before the switch.
And there are sometimes matches like this, Bren, where the scoreline is not representative of how dominant a team is. I don't believe that's the case here.
No. No. I mean, I think the viewers at home realize that, Josh. We have been singing the praises of Loud relentlessly for good reasons, because it's just everyone is on fire. The layers on top of it, despite the fact it looked like G2 were ready for them in that round. They were, you know, the Hunter's Fury is committed. nukkye swings out, he has a rifle in his hand. It's all set up there to try and stunt that push, but not there for them. And now, final round of the half.
And this time, you've got an early pop of the Blade Storm by aspas. They pick up the orb, they put down the Viper wall. It feels fast. It feels like the tempo is going to be increased. So G2 rotate a player over, get ready to defend, and there's nothing coming.
Such an awkward timing when they cut noise like this, alternating between the really aggressive plays. Drone has to be used here by hoodie straight through, and now their own drone from Loud.
And nukkye's going to be calling. They're probably coming over to B, guys, but Breeze is such a big map. Does he get back up in time?
Relatively isolated, but he still gets to one. The knives in hand. Aspas wins it in the head-to-head. The Jett v Jett. Aspas is alone, though, at the back of B, and the spike is still fully in play. The Hunter's Fury, that's a connection. Onto hoodie, sidestepped it, dodged it. Enough for the player to push up. Pancada, though, cannot finish up and clean up of the damage that's been done.
Nice play. Mixwell, though, goes for another peek.
One enemy remaining.
The
30
swings,
seconds
though,
on
they're
B.
lovely, and it puts everything down onto aspas. Final round of the half. Null command in his face.
Yeah.
Spike dropped at B main.
From quite a distance, AvovA just peeking it ever so slightly. Aspas is waiting for the drop, trying to bait it with a couple of bits of spam. With the spike drop down, G2 know what the situation is. I can play, just wants to try and isolate it, but G2, they do get one. Another one. 4 rounds for them at the half.
Now, just to give you an idea of how Loud have previously played on this map, they don't tend to be that aggressive. But that was with their former composition. And it looks like aspas wants to sprint down mid at the very beginning here.
This is so unusual for Loud.
This is not something that Loud often do. When I've been watching the VODs of them playing in Brazil, they play fairly patiently, statically on their defense.
No
and Mixwell
way.
either didn't expect it or wasn't ready for it.
Dude, Mixwell's not even on a Jett and he's still getting bullied by aspas.
These opening little duo plays from aspas and saadhak. The Brazilian fans were, I think their fear was that the pistol rounds would be a bit of a weakness from Loud, but we have seen some creative stuff. That reminds me of the same play they made on Ascent, pushing out B tiles with saadhak, with aspas.
The repositioning on top of the wall. Aspas actually wants to try and take the fight once more. The dart though needs to be broken. A reload in play means they get good information. G2, they're set up here. They know where the players are. Flash is being sent back into the site. The double clearance. They try and make it happen, but Leslie just beams them down. Ghost in hand, 3 kills for him. The anchoring, it's just immense. And yeah, the 9th round on the board here for Loud.
It's sublime play. I mean, you can see the reasons why all of the teams that we've interviewed have been gassing up this team. We've been talking to various different squads as they've won and had our interviews come onto the broadcast. And there's been hype for Loud. You've only seen a single match of them when they beat Team Liquid. But this, I mean, this is even more dominant.
It's more dominant against a team that, I
think it's certainly better. I think G2 have shown this year that they are a better team than Liquid, and Loud are dismantling them.
So impressive. Mixwell falls again. The knife did catch onto aspas, but did they anticipate still holding this one? Hoody? It's not bad for him.
saadhak holding the same angle, gets punished. That's what you like to see. Not letting them get away with too much. Meddo's gotten himself into a very deep position over by elbow. And nukkye's just watching halls. Sacy, at any point here, can use his drone to re-clear.
Oh, he's got it now.
That's what it looks like he's going to do. He's going to push nukkye back. Do they choose this timing to see if they can get into A? That seems to be what Loud have been doing a lot.
Double tag up from the drone. Aspas is also tagged up though. Has to play a bit more cautiously despite the fact weapons aren't as good, but you never know what G2 are capable of still.
There's the lurk, caught.
Yeah, lurk getting caught. 3 players, they know that AvovA is this close, Classic! One more shot will do it, but shut down.
They can't quite find the magic, and now it's left up to the 2 players on G2 with marshals. If he finds one, takes a bit of damage for it, but there's just too many players in too many different positions.
Down A.
Swinging him from multiple different angles here. 23 health to his name. Tries to go for the jump shot, even with the right click.
And it's crushing. It's absolutely crushing. Loud just looked fantastic, untouchable in this match so far. G2 completely out of their depth. And this is what Brazil have been hoping for so long, a team that can actually represent them, showcase what they're made of.
What the region is made of.
I mean, we've seen fantastic FPS teams come out from Brazil in a range of different esports, different games. We haven't seen it so far in VALORANT, but Loud is certainly living up to it here. And this is going to be a rough fight for them as they head into their bonus, round 15. Mixwell searching for that early challenge. Yeah. Finds saadhak as he was working around the map with aspas.
Much better answer for them. nukkye taking a very, very forward positioning in halls. Now, he does have to contend with his trademark right around the corner. Breaks it, though. That's going to start to pull some of the rotations from Loud. Is he going to expect aspas, though? Has to dash away. you got to show respect. Despite the fact that aspas doesn't really have the best weaponry, it's only the Spectre in hand. And
Les is going for this push. The
no
re-clear
way.
Gets caught by Meddo. Very good awareness there.
He tries to make the play happen. Swinging through G2, trying to capitalize off the fact that they are getting this value. But while all this was happening, Sacy reclaims the rifle.
That was an incredible play. I mean, pancada finds an opening pick, and Sacy decides to reposition, pick up the rifle.
Nice by Meddo.
Might have made this round possible, but aspas just lets a player through. And the damage has been fairly good here.
Bit of a gun diff there. Is he going to anticipate AvovA watching? Not likely. So, G2.
G2 are able to win when they have a massive gun advantage. That's what we're learning here.
Yeah, they can carry the rifles into the next. But how do you go one step further? Because it's, again, Loud going to have that money now to buy up these rifles. And so far, the tale of this entire series has been 5 steps ahead for Loud.
Yeah, I really think so. I like that the desk drew attention to saadhak, because I think what's been most impressive for me in this series is that combination of the IGL and the star Jett player. You can see them again here. saadhak, aspas, holding hands at double doors right now, looking for a play. As the knife comes through, a flash for aspas. Constantly trying to set up the final boss.
Mixwell just TPing away, absorbing all of the utility that might have come his way there, so he does survive in the fight. AvovA, are they going to re-clear this? They're just contacting in. Again? AvovA, there's a chance of a time of being caught here as aspas just pushes down cave.
And this is so unusual for how Loud play this map. They are picking a much more aggressive look to their defense with this new composition.
But G2 are set up here for now. A bit of a pop into the B site with the drone, leading the charge just to clear those corners less. Tries to timing it. nukkye finds saadhak though.
And that's a great timing from Les, being able to put down the snake bite right before the 0 point catches him. nukkye's in a position where he might catch a pick on the pancada. No, the timing just works perfectly.
And a bit of a rotation. Still 40 seconds online. It looks like G2 are looking to commit into this one, but the counter spam. The Vandal traces, they show exactly where the positioning is. And nukkye in tunnel. Pancada takes the swing. The duel is there for him. A win. Another round on the board. 11 in total for Loud. Edging so close to taking away the match away from G2.
Only a couple of rounds away from their biggest scalp. Sacy, saadhak, they've been here before.
And this will be historical, Josh.
It absolutely would.
For Brazil, the region, talking about it in these global events, the Brazilian teams, they've been this one-and-done region, one win, and then they're out. Not this time, though. Loud on the cusp of it, setting a new benchmark.
And look at this Viper wall, actually, that comes out of Meddo here. This is going to be a fast piece, an A split, similar to what we've seen in the past from Mech, from DRX.
saadhak's tagged up, though, all the way back through. Yep, the yellow control is there. G2 moving around. How is saadhak not dying here? Eventually they get it, but aspas also returns. All bangs coming. And now nukkye looks like he's online in this round. They've needed it for quite some time for him, but heavy weight on his shoulder when he's also doing the calling for them.
nukkye pops the Bladestone there and throws the Vandal over to Meddo. Meddo gets obliterated. Head pop. nukkye, though, responds.
Yep, now
wins the Jett.
Spam now, 1v1 situation for him. nukkye, the updraft, he spots a pancada. I can't believe he's still swinging into this one, but nukkye gets it. 4 kills in the round, and maybe if that's what it takes, he might be capable of just carrying this one forwards for G2.
With that round, he's shot up to be in the top fragger for G2, but it was all about pace here, I think. nukkye's able to find these opening engagements on a bit of an odd off angle, and then Sacy here, I think, makes a key mistake, pushing through that Viper wall rather than reconnecting with the rest of the team. Beautiful. I love the awareness from nukkye to go back into cave and collect the flank that he thinks is coming through.
So active.
They need this kind of performance from nukkye.
Now, once more, the tempo played up a little bit here for G2, but right into the Viper's pit. Still less, he can't actually put down any snake bites. The pop flash around the corner, that is a connection.
You want to play? Let's play.
They claim the kill still. Did he anticipate it? Yes, Sacy. Just a bit of a whiff there with his shots. Off around the side. Pancada, of course, he has his tour de force, but couldn't use it now, though. It's back in action, and he's peeking right round the corner. The players, they don't suspect it. Goes for the no-scope, but the fire rate just not quite there with the accuracy.
And aspas once more on the flank in a frankly unwinnable situation. G2 may have found an adjustment here that's working. Their attack side, they burst so quickly into B that Les's Viper's Pit was useless.
Yeah, it gets 0 value.
It found nothing. He just had to backpedal so quickly to get away. And at some point in this half, if G2 keep throwing this high tempo, Loud, I'm sure, will adjust, over-rotating, over-stacking, perhaps playing retake on one of the areas. But for now, it is such a change in momentum that it's catching them unaware. was nicely coordinated with AvovA as well. Utilizing the ultimate, popping the flash through.
Yeah.
That took pancada out of the fight and less. That's going to be the duo that are locking down B in their previous comp and in this one.
Yeah. Foresight being shown by G2, kind of recognizing that, you know, if Les is going to commit that Viper's Pit in that last round, then he's not going to be able to pull the Snake Bite out in time. With the KO ult in play. But now, they've got to keep this one moving forwards here for G2. There's a half buy for Loud, so a great opportunity for them to get another one on the board. Headhunter though, that is just off of timing. Raw instinct being shown by pancada as he takes AvovA's head clean off. Still the Hunter's Fury. And down onto the floor, just the one tag for them. Nukkye now taking that space all the way up top. pancada though, no one is dealing with him and still moves around the jiggle peek from Les. Just a bit oversteps himself.
pancada is still alive there, he gets taken down. Hoody eventually finds that player that was anchoring Pillar, and that makes things a lot more safe for G2. Still no spike down though. But Mixwell finds the pick that should shut this.
Yeah.
Aspas again, a player on the flank, not able really to help his team. It feels a bit like shadows of the dodge the Jett calling that we saw between 100 Thieves and Ascend.
Just avoid whatever place that Sacy was playing. Yeah, they really are just dodging and juking Aspas.
The adaptation here, though, is working. I understand that this was an anti-eco round, a light buy from Loud. But this is a few rounds on the trot here that G2 have found a system that's providing results for them. And at any point here, they have Meddo's Viper's Pit to work with, too. Assuming they can get onto a site, they can invest that in one of the eco swing rounds. One like is coming up right here.
Yeah, because now the money starts to get a bit tighter for Loud. To cave.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of aggression here. And we could see a very early clash.
Very early clash. Depending on how passive G2 end up playing this one, maybe they can absorb this kind of aggression that's about to be sent their way. The deep knife, no flash in play, still the counter knife, and it means Aspas has to respect it. He can't dash away if he wants to take the fight.
And here we get to see, is the plan to just avoid Aspas? Hall's control being taken, a drone. Doesn't look like they're rotating away. They're pretty happy with the map control that they currently have. An A-split, hyper effective once you control halls right now. And saadhak's up at switch.
Yeah. Looks like they might be trying to set up for a play. Cut the noise. Maybe make Loud rotate other ways. But now with the Viper Ward down, this does showcase it, especially with that door opening. Mixwell just trying to watch for the door to dash on top of the box. Mixwell, yeah, he's able to just cover that angle. And Nukkye at the front of it. Beautiful stuff from them.
Really nicely played. Holding angles for each other, being set up, putting a lot of pressure onto Sacy.
Oh.
Sacy though. Really nice ult.
Around the Hunter's Fury, yeah, it's going to be tagging onto another player on top of it. Finds a pickoff still. The spike is down and the postman can be played less though. He spotted one of the players, Nukkye, in a bit of trouble and he calls for it. Help from the backup with the rest of his team. AvovA wants to just double up with him. And now the hard rotate around to cave. AvovA is booking it.
And Meddo's popped his ultimate as well. G2 really want to win this round. It would force Loud onto poor economy.
Last player standing.
pancada with the flank, but he's the last one alive. And this doesn't seem like a great situation for him to be in. Not really even in a spot to save a gun. Maybe just going to be able to backstab, take a couple of weapons away.
You can hear the running. They spotted him though, and the instant trade.
And he only goes 1 for 1. There was a wild moment there where Nukkye was getting flanked and just turned around in time. But he did so much on this side hit. The dash out allows Mixwell to get posted up on the angle. And that's the timing that I'm talking about. Turns around, deals with less, calls for the help as well. Now Nukkye is really starting to get online. He's overtaken Aspas in terms of kills. Yeah, and sure, he's paid for it with a couple more deaths as well. But they're finding that tip of the spear that they really lacked on Ascent.
And it was such an important round for them. Look at the money of Loud.
Yeah.
It's not great. I mean, they're on the half by themselves, but G2 have firmly now got back in control in terms of the momentum of this map.
At least to draw things level. A serious comeback. That recon dart thrown in just to check Pillar. And it's all a fake. The rotator coming back through. Does Aspas hear any of this? I don't believe so. Breeze is such a large map. Difficulty here to hear those footsteps. And A is completely open.
Drone sent straight down. Aspas needs to get out of there.
You don't want to waste your knives on that.
Yeah, exactly. Needs his teammate to try and break it for him. And G2 have taken control back again of Cave. Now, I believe aspas ended up clearing the trademark from bottom mid there.
It looks like a race to the A side.
Yeah, so they were a bit worried about it, but G2, I think they want to try and at least beat them to the punch. Sacy, not in play, but he's going to get tagged up as well at the back of Pyramid. That knowledge is now available for G2. Flash, launching it into the corner, seeing if he can create any sort of space. Mixwell holding down that backhand. Oh, how is Sacy able to get two there with a Bulldog? Mine doesn't do that, and aspas supports him straight up in the air. The updrafts as well. Pancada with a headhunter. It's a disaster for G2.
And aspas finishes them off. What on earth? Now, in the midst of all of that, Brent, aspas hit them with a double updraft, so when they were swinging into Sacy, they were actually taking a double fight. Let's see if they caught that on the replay too. As Sacy is swinging here, aspas is right behind him.
With the
double
updraft,
updrafted, look at this. So wherever you peek, it's a high-low setup. And in the meantime, look at the minimap there. Nukkye is so far away from the rest of his team. No help from your Jett player. Because of the cushion too. So even if they do lose this, they've got money in the bank. All of the pressure now on G2 to be able to push things forward.
The operator, is he pushing B main? Didn't like it. Not sure if he's going to be able to catch that one. Of course, he has to be aware of the window. Nukkye does get tagged up though. Force control in play for Loud, pushing him away with that early utility.
And aspas fell back a little bit. He's going to be opting from a more defensive sightline.
Yeah, passive.
As Nukkye does re-explore towards halls. They knew he was here in the early round, and pancada's just waiting for him.
And Nukkye's been doing this a lot!
What on earth is that?
That's just random spray.
Sacy is spamming there to try and bait for pancada. And he's just fortunate. Gets it, the spray through the smoke.
Horrible, horrible timing, unlucky RNG, whatever you want to call it, for G2. And now, this round is so dangerous. Still, maybe it can be turned around. Hoody does manage to get that one onto saadhak, but it is 3v4. Pancada with this lurk all the way behind them. They are none the wiser, Josh, and this is a backbreaker. Hoody spots it though, just in time. AvovA flash around the corner and it does connect. He needs to get the kill though. He was looking in a different direction, just making sure that there was no second swing. And now it's a 3v3. G2 need this to stay into the series. The shock dart's connecting. Hoody, he cannot move his position. He is so low. Has to hold it, the snake bites, everything being chucked towards him, and the pressure is on Mixwell. He has to hold down this line-of-sight angle, otherwise it's over. Hoody wanders into it, it's a whiff coming through, but time is running low. Sacy, now the 1v1. AvovA realizes this one. Time so low, and I don't think he's got it.
He doesn't have it. Even if he's stuck there, even if AvovA's keyboard disconnected, they've done enough. What a round. I thought it was all over there. When Nukkye dies first to some blind spam through the smoke, and then Hoody wanders into a snake bite.
Unfortunate for them.
G2 hanging on by a thread in this. You can tell that the pressure is on because mistakes are starting to trickle into their game. I mean, more so than usual.
But still,
and your
an opportunity, man.
Your heart has got to be thumping there in those moments as you realize your upper bracket life is on the line. Nukkye, Mixwell, both with big ultimates here. Bladestorm, tour de force. What can they get done?
Popping it off. The Viper wall as well. Pancada, though, he's got his own tour de force. Holding the angle. Lovely. AvovA pops his own null command, and that's going to be taking that weapon out of his hands. The drone also, there's nothing in play for it. Nukkye tries to catch it. A slight angle, but just can't quite get that last one, but they combo it. One ult into another.
I cannot use that.
Nice pick off there into Pancada. Sacy trying to at least regain a bit of control onto this one, but Mixwell, he's holding it down.
Yeah, coming up huge for them, but now shut down by aspas. As you see these two players, both coming from double doors for Loud. Nukkye's pretty far away, but they have players set up to play off each other. Decent crossfires, and Nukkye's now going to be on a bit of a backstab. Les reads it.
No way. Has to be watching this one. Meddo pushes through. Les gets a second one. Still, the time isn't really there. It's starting to tick really low. The cloudburst as well. Hoody tries to go for the spam, the coverage. He gets the one, he gets the second. And he keeps them in this series. The Red Bull clutch in play.
Standing ahead.
All of these rounds. All of these rounds just coming down to the slimmest of margins. This was a 2v3. I can't believe that Les was aware enough to be able to find that kill and still pick off Meddo. And Hoody the player who performed to an impeccable degree against Zeta Division, closes out that round, and we are one away, either from Loud moving on into that upper bracket final, or from G2 taking us to overtime.
And this is it. G2 need to showcase that experience. Got to close it out, got to bring it to that overtime. Exchange of it, look at this, that's going to be both! Or at least just the one Hunter's Fury from Sacy sends it cutting across into mid, only the one tag, not going to be rewarded with the kill.
Okay, just wall banging there. Seeing if there's anyone holding on the other side of where nukkye is at double door.
It's antsy behavior, I think, from both teams. That you can feel it, that Jett is in play knowing that so much is on the line in this round.
Null command available at any point here for saadhak to shut down a push.
Enemy suppressed.
Knife. It's going to be getting the information. saadhak also, as you said, Josh, still holding on to that ultimate, the null command, just in case this hit comes through. Aspas has found one. That's nukkye gone, your star player. Dodges the dart. And now saadhak, he just pops his own ult. It's a bit of a react one at that. Aspas still being set up off to the side. This Guardian, he's only got 42 health, but he's making it work regardless. Still, the play comes through. Dash up around the corner. Sacy covers for it, though.
Spike down B.
And these players are rotating away, allowing a safe plant to come down from Meddo. Repositioning
15 seconds.
for a 3v2 retake.
Mixwell, he has to get something done here. It's a deep push all the way into this elbow. Player might just wander into his sight line. Meddo's also taking a gamble. He's pushed all the way up, but the respect is being shown. Just a little jiggle peek. Sacy finds it. And Mixwell, he can hear the player, the rotation straight through main. It's planted for him if he's able to catch the timing, but the coverage. Far too intelligent for it.